My question to you this afternoon is, was there anything that Jesus did or said or done? Was there anything that he did that was evil? Was there anything that he shared and preached that wasn't right? Is there anything you disagree with? I know that a lot of people today have turned their backs from God. They've turned away from the things of Jesus and the Bible because they disagree with them. So my challenge to you is, can you really pinpoint what exactly is it? What exactly is it that Jesus did or said, or that's even in the Bible, that is written by God, is evil, is not right, is not fair, is not just? So this is my challenge to you, because I believe, and I would say I know, but I believe that everything that God has said and done is perfect, is right, is just, is fair. And that's the foundation, that's the standard to go by. Now, we all know the story that when Jesus was here 2,000 years ago, you may or may not believe it, but when he was here, he shared a lot of hardcore truths. And obviously I believe that they're true. But people still hated him for it. People kicked him out of cities. They kicked him out of temples. They kicked him out of religious places. He was mocked. He was pushed around. People did not like, or many people did not like the things that he said and did. Is that you today? What is it about Jesus that offends you? I'd love to be really challenged on this, to see where your foundation lies with it, because I don't believe if Jesus did anything wrong. I don't believe the hatred that people had towards him, or even maybe the hatred people have towards him today. Maybe you have something against him today. I don't believe it's right to have something against him. I believe that everything he did and said and done was perfect and righteous and just and fair. And there's actually something that many people don't realize, and I share this a lot and people get surprised by it, but people don't realize that Jesus was killed by religious people. He was killed by the system of church and religion, and essentially it's the same thing today. He was rejected by people who thought they were doing the right thing, who thought that they were living right by God. And believe it or not, Jesus is not welcome in churches today. Many, if most professing churches of Christianity, Jesus is not welcome there. The words that he spoke are not welcome there. And it's a very serious thing, but people don't realize, like, he was killed by religious people. He was rejected by that religiousness, that system of church. He's not welcome today because they didn't like the things he said. They didn't like his words. Now, Jesus did share some very harsh words. He said, unless you've been born again of water and spirit, you cannot enter or inherit the kingdom of God. He said that there's going to be eternal judgment, some to everlasting life, some to everlasting damnation. See, the Bible is a very serious thing, and the words of Jesus, either they are true and 100% right, or they're false and they're evil and they're wicked and they're not right. And many people like to take one or two things that they like, but they like to throw away the rest. Well, if you're doing that, you're just making an idol out of God. You're just changing him into how you want to see him instead of how he really is. So my challenge is, I'd love to debate anyone, doesn't matter who you are, we can debate online. Maybe you're a Muslim, maybe you're a Buddhist, maybe you're an atheist, maybe you're some scientist or philosopher or whatever it may be. Change my mind. I believe Jesus said everything perfectly. I said he did everything perfectly. I believe he did everything perfectly. Never one time did he slip up. Never one time did he fall short of the standard of the Father. He did everything perfectly and spotless. And the greatest news is, because he did do everything perfectly and he was perfect, he came back to life. No one else can claim that. Buddha can't claim that. He died, never came back to life. Krishna, Muhammad, they're all dead. The popes, the Dalai Lamas, Charles Darwin, Confucius, they're all dead. They didn't live perfect lives. They didn't do perfect things. They didn't operate perfectly. But I believe Jesus did. And I believe that's why he came back to life. And I believe this is why many people don't want to believe in him and follow him. They don't want to believe that he came back to life and rose again. Because if he did, that means you would have to acknowledge and accept that the things that he said weren't evil, but they were absolutely spot on. So I challenge you, come and challenge me. Don't be afraid. If you think you've got the right way, let's talk. Let's test our foundations to see who's really on the right track. Let's test our foundations to see if it can stand against the scrutiny. And we'll see what happens. But I do believe Jesus was perfect. He was not evil. He didn't say anything wrong. Everything he said was true. And I believe everything from Genesis to Revelation is 100% spot on. Challenge me, test me on it. Let's go.